I was like, nigga, you can't tell me shit. I got these abs. I'm 22. I'm doing it. Why would I settle down at 22? For what reason? I got too many options. Why do you think so many gay men will suffer from the gay old and alone epidemic? You not fly, but you want Peter Pan. And that's not shade. They told us to enjoy our youth, but they didn't say that it would be what we'd be compared to over and over again for the rest of our lives. Just so that you and I know that I'm serious when I say I don't want to talk at you. I want to talk to you. Because there's been a lot of videos lately about being old, gay, and alone. And the title is not really what stands out to me. It's the fact that though the reactions are different, they're also the same. You have some men that are at peace with it, and then you have some that sound angry, but they're all technically talking about the same thing. They're just not in the same place. But I've been watching these conversations and listening to men talk about aging and dating and growing old alone. And I think the major problem is that we praise youth, but it's multifold. So I want you to follow me with this. We put a heavy emphasis on youth, on thinness, on masculinity, on a person's physical features, how youthful they look. And somehow along the lines, we forget that we're going to also age ourselves. Or maybe we don't care about that. And it's not even a problem of I'm aging and I'm going to get older. It's as we age, we don't feel the age that we are. And we grew up around others who put such an emphasis on youth. And this is just my observation on at least a portion of the problem. As we age, as we get older, we don't feel old. And so when we were 20 and 19, we thought 30 was old as fuck. And when you turn 29, you don't feel old. And when you turn 30, you don't feel any older. Like you still feel youthful. You still like the things you like. You still laugh at the same silly shit you laughed at. And maybe you've grown out of some of the things that you enjoy, but inside you still feel the same. But society treats you differently. You aren't the demographic anymore. The music isn't made for your frequency. People start holding doors open for you and they start calling you sir. And if you're somebody that happens to go to the doctor regularly, you notice that your doctors go from being older than you to now being younger than you. And that's one that hits me harder than the thought of having gray pubes. Stick around for that video. I can admit that at 45, I don't see myself the same as others my age. I have a lot more energy and I don't act like I'm old, with the exception of a dad joke here and there. But for as long as I can remember, and if you think back, youth in gay culture has been a currency. Online, on the apps, or hell, if you're as old as me, then you can remember back to the chat lines. But there was always a preference for nobody over whatever the age cap was at the moment. Because we saw anything that was over 25, 26 to be too prime. You've reached your mark. You've gotten as good as you're gonna get, baby. Well, as me and my friends will say, ain't nobody checking for you. I'm not naive to where I think that I didn't participate in this shit. Cause I did. I did too. I was like, nigga, you can't tell me shit. I got these abs. I'm fucking 22. I'm doing it. Why would I settle down at 22? For what reason? I got too many options. And so many think that they have time. It becomes this whole thing of, I got time. I don't have to settle down right now. Because right now, while I got options, I'm going to keep on seeing what else is out there. And this has been going on way before swipe culture. It's been about how many options I got. Even if you got somebody at home and you was on the chat line or whatever, you got a single friend and your single friend is like, we going out tonight, we going to the bar, we doing whatever. And you were going with them. You was like, I got somebody at home, but let me see what the streets is like. Because you was always looking for something else. I landed this, but what else can I get? What else I got? Because we praise the youth being skinny, having the six pack or having the muscles. Another observation I've made is that when you do get to a certain age, you're set in your ways. There's just certain things that you are willing to accept. There's certain things that you are willing to work on and to change. And they're usually things that you don't even realize that you're like, yeah, I could do that. I could stop doing that. Check it. If you've been smoking all this time, you're going to try to hide your smoking, but other people are going to smell it. So you might as well just admit it. And I'm saying this is someone that I remember when I was 21. I met this guy and he was like, no, I'm not a smoker. Found cigarettes in his car and everything. He was like, those are my mom's. She used my car to go to church. Like the lies just kept getting deeper and deeper. But I'm like, but why do you smell like smoke if you don't smoke then? But whatever. He told me he was 8 years younger than what he really was. But that's an example of an older nigga trying to lie to be in the presence of someone younger. I think a lot of you have these expectations that when you look in the mirror, you don't see the current version of yourself. You still see you when you were young, slim, and trim. You don't see the weight that you've gained. You can't see the weight that you've gained. Not the way that y'all be demanding somebody be this, and that, and you not this, that, or the third. Like, where do y'all get off demanding that type of stuff? You not fly, but you want Peter Pan. And that's not shade. Again, I say this as watch your feet because I'm about to step on some toes. See, some of y'all be saying no fats, no femmes. And it's because you don't want anybody that's just like you. If you know your photos don't represent the present you, if you're dressed more butch, but in person you give off feminine energy, own it and save yourself the time. Again, that's not shade. I'm just saying that a lot of you think that you are more masculine than you are. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that you're living in a place of delusion. And so where I'm going with this is that you can't uphold the image that you present to someone and they eventually lose interest. Well, that's just it, full stop. Once the real you shows up, it's hard to pretend. Again, I'm talking to you, not at you. I promise you. I'm married and have been for 9 years, and I just want y'all to find the person that you want. If you want somebody, but I want you to do it in a way that's not delusional, to where you really understand what it is that you're asking, what it's going to require of you, and be willing to put in the work for it. Some older gay men are just now coming out because they lived another life for half their life. They were with a woman. There go my cat in the background. They had kids, or they had the family or whatever, and they tried to do this, and then they just eventually, that broke off. She went and got herself somebody else, and now you out here like a kid in a candy store. And that's one thing that just men in general have in common. It doesn't matter who you're attracted to. It seems as if that men across the board seem to prioritize youth. Why is that? How do we prioritize youth and not see our own aging taking place in front of us? You think nobody has mirrors at home. Because we had our youth, because we were sold that we were so beautiful, we were so handsome, gorgeous, whatever, that we thought we had time. And so we put off our options until our options got booed up with somebody who, so many guys are afraid to really show their feelings and to express them, that when they finally do, it's only after the person that really had their heart has found somebody who knew how to express their feelings and to say, this is how I feel about you. Somebody else wasn't afraid to say, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And that person said, okay, I feel the same. Who you thought wasn't even worth their time or their type. And I'm saying you because I've had those feelings. I've had those thoughts. I've seen people that I passed up. Before I got married, I saw people that I dated or courted or had an interest in, but I still had options. And so I wasn't ready to settle down with them. And it was, in the words of Monica, why not? Like, for real. Like, why this motherfucker? Because they would be complete opposites. And we were more aligned than you and this. But it's something more than that. And I think that a lot of you have to get comfortable with the going deeper, to understanding the person, the intellect, the seeing what you have in common, to being able to be around one another when you don't have anything to talk about, and to be okay with that. Because some people are uncomfortable with silence. It's, you must be mad at me. Growing up, nobody said that youth was permanent. They told us to enjoy our youth, but they didn't say that it would be what we'd be compared to over and over again for the rest of our lives. With all the videos that I've watched, the phrase that seems to be consistent is that I don't feel old, just uninvited. And if you think about that, even on the apps, you think about how we're allowed to, and we so choose to, voice our preferences for certain ages, certain race groups, etc., etc. And as we age out, the invitations become less, the interests become less. And somehow, you're then expected to be generous. And that's a whole nother thing I can get on a rant on right now, but I'm just going. A lot of us are trying to date a memory of ourselves. We don't realize it. You want someone who fits the ideal image of what you looked like or what you were achieving before you, quote unquote, fell off. You don't bring that to the table. So why are you so demanding of that of someone else? There's a mixed match between expectations and reality. We want someone to have their own car, their own house, not to have roommates and to make this amount. But you're unemployed, live at home, no car. And that's the thing, that you have some men that are single and they're fine with it. You can be alone on purpose or lonely by accident, because there are people that are partnered and lonely and those that are single and just simply fine with it. I think a lot of men fear being old and alone. But I don't even think we have a problem with getting older. I think we have a problem with being older and not having anybody around us that knew us when we were younger. Which is why so many of us hold on to friends that we would, or society would tell us that we've outgrown. Now, again, I'm not saying that people are expendable and that you should cut your friends off. I'm saying that if all you have in common are to talk about the old days, those that get it, get it. I ain't gotta say no more. See, I don't want to rant, but I'm gonna go there. How clean is your house? When you be inviting these people over there for your hookups, how clean is your house? How clean is your house on any given day? If you're a person that's always, oh, I was just tidying up, or if you just literally move shit from one corner to the next, unpack that. Go deeper, because there's a reason why you're doing that. And that might be what's blocking you from finding someone who wants to come back and not ghost you. Revisit your list and make realistic adjustments. I'm not saying settle, but work within your range. If that's you. If that's not you, I'm sorry. My name is Silent. I know you're new here and you probably are just now getting to know me. With that being said, hit that like button and subscribe if you think you've enjoyed this conversation, or you might want to come back. I'm completely random. Next week is not going to be anything like this. My online profile showing my age. The age is the problem for you. It's not the person. Because we have this idea in our mind of what 45 acts like, what 45 looks like. But then when you're interacting with 45 in person, you realize that 45 isn't the issue. But it's funny how we'll let a number deter us. And I'm not trying to say this in the sense of saying that you younger guys should date older, because as someone that's 45, I remember being 21 and 18 and 16 and guys older being interested in me. And I can tell you now at 45, I have no interest in anyone under 32. And that's putting it politely. I don't. My husband's 39. I have no idea what a 19-year-old would expect to have in common with me. I know that they could not legally buy me alcohol. They couldn't come out and meet me at a bar. I know that we won't have the same social references when it comes to jokes and commentary. And my niece and nephews are older than them. So I say all that to say, I don't get how, when I am on the apps, when I was on the apps, because it's been 8 months for me. Congratulations. Woohoo. Like, that's a whole another conversation, different story. If y'all want to know about me and my husband and our policies or whatever, you can let me know in the comments. Otherwise, that's my business and I'm not going to talk about it no more. Saying how many that are my age and older that are only looking for people that are in their 20s. I'm not going to say it's gross. They're all still of consenting and legal age, but knowing who I was at 25, knowing who I was at 18, anybody 45 wants somebody that young, go talk to somebody. So yeah, I'm gonna go. This was just a random thought. Saw a couple of videos that was going on YouTube. I went to sleep, woke up the next day, it was still on my mind, and I was like, I guess I just got to talk about it. So I talked about it, and hopefully I'm done with it. But let me know what you think. Why do you think so many gay men will suffer from the gay old and alone epidemic? Do you think they're just too damn picky? Or I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.